Can I do like a really bad intro for the start?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, hi, welcome to Disc Over Downloads. My name is Comrade. Sometimes I'm called Froggy King or just Froggy. That's Astral. Astral, say hi with your voice.
Hi with my voice.
Also, this is Shadgon. They're both streamers. Astral streams less than Shadgon, but they're both streamers. I'm also a streamer. We're on Twitch. What? We'll put the links right now on the screen. Here's the links. There they are. Thank you, Editor Man, mysterious Editor Man who's not in the call. Welcome back to the show. This is the show. We've got to talk about Xbox today. Project Helix has got some rumors swirling about it. Sony is still holding their ground on the no disc thing. We're not going to really cover that, other than the fact that Lin Tao came out. She's the CTO, or she's one of the CEOs up there anyway, and she came out and basically said, no discs. We're going to keep doing no discs even though people want discs. And we're not going to spend another whole episode griping about that. I also want to talk about, there's a game coming out called Iron Nest. Did you guys want to cover anything coming out that you're excited about, or anything going on in the gaming space?
There actually is a game I want to talk about a little bit later. Astral, I showed you this recently. You'll know the one. It's called Ekrizu's Castle. We'll talk about it a little bit later. And I'll explain why that excites me then. But let's talk Project Helix, because the rumors going around about that are exciting.
Yes. So for anyone not familiar, Project Helix is the new hardware project being done by Xbox and Microsoft. It is supposed to be something between, in their words, something between a console and a PC. We have seen some previews of like the new Xbox dashboard that include like a Steam filter, which makes people think it'll be Steam compatible, which is crazy for a console. That would be a first. We've seen a few other things about it, but it's mostly shrouded in mystery right now. They're really keeping it under wraps. But the current rumor going around is that this Xbox will support all 5 generations of Xbox. And when you put a disc in from a previous generation, it will essentially install that game in a playable format in an emulator and give you a digital license to use that game that is tied to some kind of code on the original disc. And so if you send that disc to a friend and let him put it in his Helix, it will kill your license and give it to him. So it's like a shareable digital license that doesn't remove the preservation of the physical media. It's a really interesting concept, but it's all a rumor right now. I for one, am hopeful. You guys?
Yeah.
I actually was really excited when I heard about the multi-console generation thing going on. I didn't initially tie it to the idea of their digital discs to downloads thing. That would make sense to make it all work in one. They don't have to try to like build the hardware to support all these different architectures. They could just have like, here's a bunch of emulators built into it, or knowing Microsoft, it's probably some sort of cloud system, right? You know, pop the disc in.
They've actually confirmed so the disc to digital thing is not the rumored part of it. The disc to digital is confirmed, but it's not a conversion. Is what they've said. They've said that it is basically they install the game from the disc. Like, it's essentially just copying the ISO and running it in an emulator. But it ties to a digital, like a license that you can keep. So you don't need to put the disc in to play each time. You just will be able to play unless someone else puts your disc in and registers it online. Then you won't. Then you'll lose the digital license. You'll need the disc back in order to get the game back on your system, which I like and I kind of don't like. There's things about it. Depends on how they execute, whether or not that's something that's going to work. But it's so I should just clarify the part that is a rumor is the part where all 5 console generations are supported. We don't know about that, but the disc to digital is confirmed. Like, we know that's something they're working on, and details aren't final.
The thing that concerns me with that, though, with the disc to digital, that just occurred to me, is these games will probably have to default to always online DRM. Because what's to stop me from popping the disc into my system, getting the digital license right, take my Xbox completely offline and then pass the disc. How's it going to remove it from my console if it's not connected to the internet?
Well, so the thought is that it shouldn't need to. It's a game they don't sell anymore from a 20-year-old console. Like, I think the idea with this is not policing. This is the thing that people are worried about, and that I'm worried about. Is it shouldn't be about policing the license. It should just be about convenience for the user. If they develop this program and the center of it is convenience for the user, it'll go off really, really well, and people will probably jump ship from Sony over to Microsoft because that's really consumer first. If they're working with Valve to have Steam on Xboxes, maybe Gabe is getting somewhere with Microsoft. That is all really hopeful stuff. It's probably not going to go that way, but if it did, I mean, Sony is giving Microsoft a really great window to take over the gaming space.
Yep.
And to convert a lot of people. And if Microsoft were smart right now, because they need it, they would rip that window as wide open as they could, smash the glass, and jump through. Yeah. I mean, they would just, let's do it. So I've got my fingers crossed. I would love to see an American company dominate the gaming space for a little while. It's been a long time. But it all depends on execution right now. They've got some great ideas cooking, but they need to execute correctly. So I'm worried about that myself.
Yeah, it definitely this could go many directions, but like I would prefer it to go the way that we want it to go, which is consumer friendly. Yeah. Where we can just be able to plug whatever we want into whatever we want, and not have to worry about whether it's connected to the internet or whether it's a game from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I actually saw a short on YouTube about the M64.
Yes.
Which is a completely all hardware upgrade for the N64. Plays the N64 cartridges and doesn't need to be hooked up to the internet.
Yep, you can just pop a cartridge into it and it'll run, which is fantastic. Yep. There's a few products out there like that now.
Yeah. So I've seen that. I've seen a lot of mind you, these ones I'm not as sure about, but I've seen a lot of knockoff Game Boy-esque type things that have flash memory of 200 Game Boy Advance ROMs or something like that.
Yeah.
Why these companies should be making these systems. There's an avid market for if Nintendo came out with the M64, all right, they didn't, but if they did, I guarantee you people would buy it. If they
did do that, and people did buy it, but the hardware is too hard to get a hold of anymore. So they made the mini SNES and the mini NES. You remember those?
Yep.
Yes.
And they actually patented one for the N64, but it became too expensive to sell. And a big part of the problem they had with those, and I did it too, is people bought them and then hacked them open within a day and put a bunch of other ROMs on there that they didn't have access to. And the licensing for these ROMs can be a nightmare. If it's a third-party games or whatever.
I feel like the market's at the gaming industry rather is in a very precarious place. Because on the one hand, we have all of this nostalgia, and a lot of people with disposable incomes and nostalgia.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, we have this sort of influx of AI slop that's also happening.
Well, I think the major issue we have in the primary gaming space right now is that we've got all these companies that are basically taking the piss and saying, well, we want to make all of the money all at once, and that's why we're getting stuff like Marathon, where Sony just won't give up on Marathon because they've sunk so much money into it and they need it to be profitable.
And yet,
so now
everybody
they're trying to turn it into Destiny, which is stupid because Destiny's right there.
Yeah, and everybody who's worked on Marathon or is working on Marathon, half the company is gone.
Yeah.
They fired half the company.
There's been a lot of layoffs.
Got gutted. What was the... I can't Google at the moment. I've got my hands full. But what was the... How many... Can somebody Google real quick how many people just got fired from Bungie? It was last week.
At least 292 full-time employees were laid off at Bungie in late June 2026.
Yeah. Okay, late June, so like a month ago.
With the total number of affected individuals likely exceeding 400 when including remote workers and contractors.
Yeah, and how many employees did they have? That's the question. 'Cause I want to say that studio wasn't huge.
Reducing the studio's workforce to approximately 500 or fewer employees, down from a peak of around 1,300.
Yeah, so that's crazy. That is like half of them. That's a crazy number of people to lose. And they fired the raid team. Like Destiny raids were like the thing that was keeping Destiny alive. That was like the big piece that made everybody like nobody cares about walking around the patrol zones.
Yeah,
you know. It was all about the raids. So getting rid of the raid and dungeon team was absolutely ridiculous, especially because you could have had those people working on Marathon.
They did. They took a lot of the like really good people, moved them over to Marathon, and then wondered why Destiny was suffering.
Ugh.
And then the people that they brought over to Marathon did what they could, but they were under strict constraints themselves to also make something that wasn't Destiny.
Yeah.
So that's like
ridiculous. Let's
take our best employees, shoot them in the leg, and tell them to run a mile. Like,
yeah, I have to believe it all tracks back to Sony. They don't seem to know what they're doing at all.
There's a bunch of places that are doing a bunch of layoffs. Did you hear about Halo Studios? Because it's a whole fucking joke. Letting people go because combat
that's just
or campaign evolved was a failure.
That's following the same trend that Sony has already been doing. It's that the gaming industry as a whole has been doing. It's let's hire all these people to make a game, and if the game doesn't do well by this arbitrary metric that I set up, we'll fire half the developers and not have to pay them, or pay them like very like heinous amounts for her severance or something like that.
So I'm not entirely convinced they fired people from Halo Studios to save money on Campaign Evolved so much as everyone kind of agrees that Campaign Evolved was a shitty product and they're firing the people who made a shitty product. Yeah. That's not to say that Microsoft has never done it the way Sony is, but in this case they made a bad product and they were basically told to fuck off.
I think that's part of it, but I also think that's also the excuse that Microsoft will lean on. If you give them that excuse, they'll be like, okay, yeah, this was terrible, let's fire everybody. But
I'll take it because it was awful and they deserve to be fired.
At the end of the day, it's about the bottom.
Here.
Like, listen. At the end of the day, it's about that bottom line, and it's more cost effective to just fire your developers after they're done with the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably some truth to that. A big part of what they did with Campaign Evolved, and it's something I've seen done a few times, they gave them the chance to make 3 levels. So that starting bit where they got to make their own 3 levels, and they made their own characters, and you know, they could write their own dialogue and everything. That is the part... Like, Campaign Evolved as a whole, most people seem to agree that, like, you should just play the Master Chief Collection. It's not really worth playing Campaign Evolved because it just doesn't really feel like Halo anymore. But the main issue I think they ran up against is... where's I going with this? They made their own levels, and the levels are not considered very good. And all of the dialogue they wrote is, like, Pork Chungus dialogue. Like, if you play through Halo 1... and listen to Chief and listen to him, you know, the way he talks and the way he acts and the way that he is. And then go play those 3 opening missions. And listen to Chief and Johnson, like, quipping back and forth like they're Marvel characters. And, like, you know, making little jokes and stuff. Which is, like, cute if you're a Marvel character, but it doesn't make sense for them. So I think a lot of the layoffs are probably coming from this, where people really don't care for the remake, and the new thing they made is not resonating with people. Microsoft doesn't want to pay those guys to make a new Halo game, and I think that's what this was. I think this was a test of that studio to, you know, they wanted to make a new Halo game, and Microsoft basically said, well, we can't have a bad one come out after Infinite, so remake the first game, show us how you would do it, And if it doesn't land with the players, then you're going to be SOL.
They were so disappointed with it that the other Halo game they were working on is canceled.
Yeah. Yeah, I know they had sort of started on something. I think it was in very early days, but yeah, I heard that their work was not going forward now.
The rumor was the plan was to remake the original trilogy, like Campaign Evolved, and make all of them campaign only, like they did with this one. And Halo 7, or whatever the sequel to Infinite, would be like a live service multiplayer Halo. That was going to be the esport.
Yeah.
But they fucked up Campaign Evolved so bad that Halo Studios doesn't even want to do it anymore. They're like, we're not doing the multiplayer project. So, like, it's so bad, there's a probably not a huge chance because it's still their mascot, but there's a good chance we don't see any new Halo for probably another few years.
I've got to transition us. Just speaking of Halo is great. I'm gonna transition us because this is not a Halo podcast. And we're only talking about Halo because we actually all want to see Microsoft blow up and do good. Microsoft, please take advantage of Sony's foolishness. Lean into physical media. You will succeed. And if you're not leaning into physical media and you've got pencil pushers and number crunchers telling you it's too expensive, tell them too bad. Tell them figure it out. Make them do their jobs. Don't let them tell you no. Speaking of giants, speaking of enormous giants, I wanted to talk about Iron Nest. Which is the upcoming game from Nick Newot. I'm probably saying that wrong, and Dominic Latos. So it's funny, I say upcoming. So this actually came out yesterday, as of the time of recording. I thought it was out on the 16th. It was out on the 6th, which is super exciting. And I'm now trying really, really hard not to hit play and call my boss and say I'm not coming in. So Iron Nest, it's called Heavy Turret Simulator. So this is a diesel punk heavy artillery game where you are in charge of this colossal war machine. You are one guy inside of this huge walking artillery piece, and you get fed information from outside about where they want you to shoot and different coordinates for your movement and stuff like that. And you have to use all the crazy equipment inside your machine in order to sort of help fight the war. Apparently there are different endings depending on if you're going to obey high command or disobey. And so, like, you can betray the people you're supposed to be fighting for, or you can fight and do your best, which tells me there's multiple endings. Or maybe there's just a bunch of game overs, I don't know. But there's a demo for this on Steam, and it looks really, really cool. It looks very interesting, and it's got 98% of 1,281 user reviews right now are positive, which is huge. So it's landing at overwhelmingly positive on Steam. Rock Paper Shotgun said you were getting bored of turrets in war games. Fools! You've never experienced one from the inside, which is all kinds of exciting. It's just capitalizing on the tactile and the absurdly meticulous work of, like, adjusting this machine and trying to get it set up the way that it needs to be done, and cracking the code and then firing and getting feedback on how good you did. And it just looks super, super interesting. It's $15 on Steam right now. Not sponsored, just for the record, but looks really cool. If you haven't seen it,
I have seen clips of this, and I was like, wow, okay, they didn't include the name of the game at all. This looked really cool. That's so cool.
Speaking of which, there's another indie game I want to talk about.
talk about it.
It's called Ekrazus Castle. So the reason this is something I'm interested in is because I know the developer. They go by Meringue Rouge, whichever version that one is. I'm gonna throw it in
Meringue Rouge
group chat.
It's Rouge.
I googled it.
The reason that excites me is this person is a former PSO2 content creator. This is somebody that we were not in the same social circle, but I was aware of them. We both made videos for that game a while ago. And this is what they decided to do when they weren't doing that anymore. They've been working on this. They've been like documenting their like development journey, if you want to call it that, on X. They talked about the engine they were using and so on. So it's just somebody that I kind of knew who actually worked on a game, and it looks kind of neat. And while it's not on the Steam page, this game is going to be $5 and is going to be 10% off when it comes out.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's
pretty cool, honestly. If it's fun and $5, like it's gonna be more successful than Campaign Evolved.
It looks like a I believe it's supposed to be a roguelike style game. The gameplay kind of implies that. There's going to be like a couple different difficulty modes, things like that. There's I
will say, I'm definitely all on board for games like this. I'm a little skeptical because of the AI coding stuff.
Oh yeah,
but,
only AI code was used.
Yes. So like
C# scripts for floating object direction calculations, boss camera, replacing items in the shop interface. So they did a little vibe coding.
A little bit. They were having problems getting those things right on their own early on, and they talked about the bugs it kept causing.
Yeah.
So that's probably to correct their own mistakes. But
my point is that is what like AI really should be used for, is the hard crunching of programming. Like that makes sense. They didn't use AI to AI art or things like that, but like I love that is there. And this is actually another aside to just Steam as a whole. I like being able to see that because I can make my own decision based on like what that is, you know.
I like that people are volunteering that info. Oh no, they're not. Steam makes you do it now, right?
Steam makes you do it now. I definitely am gonna try it out for the low cost of $5. There's I think
there's also a free demo.
I was saying there's also a free demo.
So you can try it for the low cost of nothing.
True.
Well, let's talk about that just a little bit here, because I think we've covered just about everything. All games should definitely have some sort of trial. I feel like, and I don't have any numbers to support this whatsoever, I feel like more games would sell better if they had a demo, so people on the fence didn't have to drop $60 and then find out the game sucked. Or if they were unsure in general. I feel like it's a very low risk, potentially high reward thing to do.
Well, the problem with that is companies will never go for that.
I mean, we do get demos for more games than not, still.
I agree.
More demos is because we have indie developers who are willing to throw demos out. The big game companies don't want demos. They want you to pay $60 and not be able to return it and not be able to trade it in at GameStop. That's what they're trying to do. It's what they want.
Yeah.
Well, that's why in Gabe we trust.
That's right. We love Gabe.
But
yeah, I agree. I would love more games to have more demos or more demos. Like there's more than one. Like just more demos.
More games should have demos than those that do.
Because if you're especially if you're asking like $70-$80 for a game, I'm not going to buy it.
Exactly.
To try it out.
Exactly.
I'm going to. There was a game. I bought it. It was a game I was on my wish list, and I. No! It was the new Black Desert. What was the Crimson Desert?
Crimson Desert.
Yeah, I bought Crimson Desert at the cost that they asked. All right, I played it for a little while, and it didn't feel like a good enough game. So I played it for like 2-3 hours, and then I returned it because I was basically playing an MMO as a single player RPG. I thought it was going to be another MMO, honestly, and that would have been cool with all those things, but it It wasn't. It played like the gameplay loop felt like an MMO, except it was a single player.
Yeah.
Like
I did hear that it's one of those games that you have to get like a dozen hours into before it opens up, but we don't need every single game doing that.
So, on the flip side, there was no demo for it, so I couldn't try it out. And like after I returned it, they also started dropping update after bug fix after update, going, oh yeah, well, we're also including this. Oh yeah, we're also including this. Oh yeah, we're also including this. And it's like, well, why weren't those there before? Like,
yeah, $80 unfinished games are becoming far too popular.
Like, come on. Like, I would have maybe stayed if those were in the game from the beginning. Like, if your game costs $70, you better have a demo. If your game costs $5, I'm out $5. I'm not out in a half a check, or like sometimes even some people's full check of money just to play a game.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
That's what I'm getting at, is if your game is $5, even $20 is not that bad. No. Like, if you're gonna tell me I'm gonna get $20 of fun out of a game, or even less, like even more than $20, just like that—that's different for everybody. So like, I get that, but like if your game's $5, all right, just to bring up Shagon's example, like if your game is $5, I'm probably gonna play it.
Yeah. Well, and you're getting into this territory of like, once a game is $70 and the console is $1,000, and then you want you want me to pay $30 every month to play online, it's like, I'm at $1,100. Like, $1,100 will get me into a lot of hobbies. Like, part of the appeal of video gaming has always been that it was affordable. You know, that's been a big thing. You didn't have to pay for a big physical product and store it and do all this stuff. You could buy a GameCube for $99 and go get Mario for $30 and throw that shit in and have yourself a grand old time, and you were all set. You know, and a lot of the time you pay that $99 for the GameCube and you go, oh, I get Pokemon Gale of Darkness, this is great, and I'm gonna go get Mario, and I've got all this stuff, this is great. And now they're like, hey, it's $1,000 for the console, it's $800 for the console, and you're gonna pay us every month for the online play, and the games are $70-$80, and we're not giving you a disc. And it's like, okay, now we're getting into the territory where it's like a little silly.
I think it's hilarious because with the announcement of the price of GTA, or the base cost of GTA, their stock dropped too, because they weren't going to raise the price to like $100 a game, just as the base price. And it's like, because it's not worth $100. Sorry, that's opinion based.
But it's I see your point though.
Like, to add on to that, I guess, if your game is $80+, like, I am expecting a lot more out of it. I'm expecting a game that's going to give me a lot of entertainment, all right, for a long period of time, and not, or like an RPG, for example. Like, it'll give me, I'm able to make a character, do different things. There's different endings, things like that. I could easily sink 100 hours into an RPG. I think that's worth it. That's $60-$70 territory, and that's like what we should be expecting, instead of this pay $100+ for a sandbox. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that's being very reductive, but like, what else are we getting with it? Does it do your taxes? Like,
right? Yeah.
What else is there?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, but do you guys have any final thoughts you want to throw at the show, at the lovelies, so they can hear your voice before we go away for another week?
Make more demos.
What?
Make more demos.
Make more demos. Buy indie games and Buy physical.
Yeah. Support your local developers.
Support your local devs.
Bring in your devs. They're cold too.
Yeah, if you're cold, they're cold. Bring them inside.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No, I think that's pretty much it for us today.
All right. Well, listen, everybody, thank you for tuning in. I see we got a couple of new subscribers this week. I'm very happy about that. Thank you so much. A friendly reminder that when we hit 100 subscribers, I'm doing a giveaway for a free game. We'll talk about that more as we get closer to it, of course, but get your friends to sub yourself, get your alt accounts, have your mom sub, have your dad sub. I don't care if he looks at me judgmentally. I just want him to subscribe.
Yeah, well, and have Subway subs and all that.
Yeah, get a Subway sub. Don't get a Subway sub.
Don't. They're basically cake. Don't do that.
The $5 footlong is gone. Don't. Yeah, it's fine.
Now the $5 footlong is gone. We're now in the age of the $5 indie game.
Yeah. It's, like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Share it around. Show us to people. I would love that, and I love every single one of you that do it. Thank you so much. And buy physical.